Many people try to take care of their health. They eat better, move more, follow advice, and do what they believe is right. Yet over time, something still feels off. Energy drops. Recovery is slower. The body feels heavier than it used to. This video is not about diseases or diagnoses. It's about something much simpler and often overlooked. The body doesn't react to single actions. It reacts to patterns, to daily habits repeated over months and years. And sometimes, even when we do many things right, those habits quietly work against us. Let's talk about why that happens, calmly, without fear, and without extremes. Many people genuinely try to take care of their health. They read articles, follow advice, and make changes they believe are helpful. They eat better than before, try to move more, and avoid what seems obviously harmful. And yet, after some time, they start to notice something confusing. Despite all these efforts, their overall well-being doesn't really improve. In some cases, it even slowly gets worse. This creates frustration. People begin to wonder what they are doing wrong or what they might be missing. The issue is not a lack of discipline or motivation, and it's usually not about one single mistake. The problem is the way we often think about health. We tend to approach it as a list of separate tasks: fix sleep, fix diet, fix posture, fix stress. But the body doesn't work in isolated parts. It works as a single, connected system. When we try to improve one area without understanding how it affects the others, we may unknowingly create new imbalances. The body adapts, compensates, and adjusts, often silently. Over time, these compensations accumulate, and instead of clear improvement, we get mixed signals: more effort but less clarity. This is why many people feel they are doing everything right, yet still don't feel better. One of the most important things to understand about the body is that it doesn't react to individual actions. It reacts to patterns. One healthy meal does not change much. One bad meal usually doesn't either. The same is true for sleep, movement, or stress. What truly shapes how we feel is what happens repeatedly, day after day, week after week. The body is constantly adapting. It adjusts to how often we move, how regularly we eat, how well we recover, and how much stress we carry without rest. These adaptations happen quietly. There is rarely a clear moment when something suddenly breaks. Instead, the body slowly shifts into a new normal. At first, this new normal feels manageable. A bit less energy, a bit more stiffness, slight changes that are easy to ignore. But over time, these small adjustments accumulate. What once felt temporary becomes constant, and what once felt normal no longer truly is. This is why many changes in health feel confusing. They don't come from one mistake. They come from patterns that went unnoticed for a long time. One reason health issues feel so confusing is that symptoms often appear much later than the real cause. The body is designed to adapt and compensate. When one area is under stress, another part often takes over. This allows us to function even when conditions are not ideal. For a long time, this compensation works surprisingly well. People continue their daily routines, sometimes without realizing how much extra effort the body is making. During this phase, clear warning signs are rare. Instead of pain or obvious problems, there may be subtle changes: less energy, slower recovery, reduced stability, or a general feeling of heaviness. Because these changes develop gradually, they're often dismissed as normal aging or temporary fatigue. Life goes on, and the deeper patterns remain unchanged. Eventually, however, compensation reaches its limit. When the body can no longer adjust quietly, signals become stronger and harder to ignore. This is usually the moment when people start looking for answers, but by then, the original cause may be far removed from the symptom itself. Understanding this delay is important. It reminds us that symptoms are rarely the beginning of a problem. They're often the body's final attempt to be heard. When people think about improving their health, they often focus on big decisions, changing a diet, starting a new program, following a strict plan. But the body is influenced far more by small, repeated behaviors than by occasional major changes. Things like when we go to sleep, how long we stay in one position, how often we interrupt sitting with movement, and how regularly we eat all send constant signals to the body. These signals shape posture, circulation, digestion, and energy levels, not instantly, but gradually and consistently. Even stress works this way. It's not a single stressful event that causes the most strain, but long periods without proper recovery. Over time, the body adapts to these conditions. Muscles tighten where movement is limited. Energy is conserved where demand feels constant. Balance and coordination quietly adjust. Because these habits feel ordinary, they rarely attract attention, yet they often play a much larger role in how we feel than we expect. This is why meaningful change often begins not with dramatic actions, but with awareness of everyday patterns. Many people approach health with tension. They try to control every detail, avoid mistakes, and search for the perfect solution. But the body doesn't respond well to constant pressure. It responds better to understanding. Health is not about doing everything perfectly. It's about recognizing how the body reacts and adjusting habits before problems become overwhelming. When patterns change, the body changes as well, sometimes slowly, sometimes subtly, but often more reliably than through drastic actions. This perspective removes fear from the process. Instead of fighting the body, we begin to listen to it. Small, consistent adjustments can create more stability, better energy, and a clearer sense of what the body actually needs. This approach is calmer, more sustainable, and far more realistic for long-term well-being. This channel is about understanding connections, not chasing quick fixes. Health starts with daily habits, and small patterns repeated over time shape how we feel far more than isolated actions. In the next videos, we will explore these patterns more closely and break them down one by one, calmly, simply, and without extremes.